Life after the Fender Custom Shop. What a long and winding road it can be. The successes and the failures. The highs, the lows. The gods, the devils. I just want to keep making comparisons. I'm having a good time. Hey, I'm Baxter.
I'm Jonathan.
Casino Guitars here. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about what happens when you leave the vaulted gates of heaven, the Fender Custom Shop. It's strange, right?
It's like Mount Olympus.
Many people have been there. Many people have left. We're only going to talk about a few because we only have that much time. We're going to have a little fun with it. And you've got the greats: John Suhr, Carlos Lopez, John Cruz, John English, Ron Thorne, Gene Baker, John Page, and so many more that have come and gone. And it's an interesting path to get there. And it's an even more winding path on what you do afterwards.
What you're going.
Yeah, what you're going to do, you know? So to get to become a Fender Custom Shop Master Builder, it can be anywhere from, it could be like a 20-year process to get there. It could be a 5-year process if they're like, whoa, that kid's filled with talent,
right.
Bring him in. Like we've seen guys like Levi Perry get promoted up pretty quickly. We saw guys like Carlos get promoted up pretty quickly from when he came into the custom shop, from that time to his Master Builder is pretty quick. You got guys like, John English in the old schools, and Suhr, and up to John Cruz, who were like in there from the beginning.
Right.
And what they've done. So let's break it down a little bit. So John Suhr left.
Yes.
I really don't know what he's been doing lately.
Nothing.
Okay, he started this little company called Suhr Guitars.
Suhr Guitars. Which are very good.
They're phenomenal guitars. Ever since the transition there, it's they're still good guitars. But so he launched that guitar company, way back, and it's become a staple of the business.
Yeah.
It is I put that as probably about as high a tier as like independent boutique as you can get.
I feel like Suhr, some of those boutique things get hot and they kind of go away, and they get hot and they go away. And I think that Suhr is one that they have. I hate to say like a cult-like following, but like guys who are diehard, they have a few Suhr, they those are their guitars, and that's what they do.
Is it even boutique anymore? That's because Collings, they build Collings acoustic guitars, is that boutique? And it's tricky to say.
It's tricky to say, right?
Because the production is scaled up so much. And
probably not at this point. But
okay
they're on the edge.
But that's cool. He became this a real guitar, a real guitar company.
A real guitar. Oh my God. It's true.
So that's like a huge amount of success. I think anyone that's a guitar player, that's been doing it for a few years, has probably heard of Suhr Guitars.
Yes.
It's like, let's jump into old whippersnapper Carlos Lopez. Now that gentleman, he was with Fender for quite a while, became a master builder. Wasn't a master builder for that long.
He wasn't.
Before he decided to launch off on his own with Castedosa guitars and make quite a splash with baritones. That was his release.
That was fun because we were working with, we knew him, obviously. He was building guitars for us at Fender. And then you were sort of, got to see especially what was happening and as he was making plans and
I've had
launching this thing.
Very eagle-eyed and close-eyed, had plenty of drinks and hung out with it. Carlos is a dear friend of mine, so I'm coming at this with a biased opinion, obviously. But he builds some of the finest guitars out there. And I think his launch was something he was looking forward to doing.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it. I was really worried at first, and we had lots of conversations, but I think he killed it.
He obviously had a plan and a vision.
Yes.
It wasn't like an accident, I'm going, what shall I do now? And I think he did it about as well as anyone could do it.
No, he did it intelligently. He started small and has stayed small.
Yep.
And I think that's the key. Every guitar is built by hand, by Carlos, by no one else in his shop, that he has at his home, next to his swimming pool, where I think he spends way too much time swimming.
Way too much time.
And drinking beer and eating tacos. Yes, I know it's true, Carlos. You can't lie. But no, he's done really well. John English is one of the legends. So here's the joke. Some people go off and start guitar companies. Some people go off and do they work with other companies. They work as advisors. Some people go off and retire and become legends too. John English is probably the most storied legend of the Fender Custom Shop in some ways. If you have a John English Fender Custom Shop, that's a big thing to have. He was one of the early ones of playing the great sort of strats and telly, not just the set neck phase of the 90s and all.
Right.
That became that was a huge thing with a lot of the guys. But no, he's no longer with us anymore either, and but his guitars are forever.
Yep.
I've gotten to play a few of them too, and they are awesome. So if you get your hands on one, they're really cool. So he's become a legend. John Cruz left the Fender Custom Shop under not as fun of terms. He was let go.
I don't think he planned to leave, right?
He did not plan to
Which is a huge difference, right? If you decide, you know what, I think I'll strike out on my own, that's a big difference then.
And you get your ducks in order, you're ready to go. So John left, he launched John Cruz Guitars, and then later after that, it was John Cruz Custom Guitars, and now he's working with Ionic, I believe, or Iconic. I keep saying Ionic. I have a speech.
The ionosphere. No, it's Iconic
Guitars. I apologize.
And I can't decide if it looks like maybe they're just collaborating on a lot.
It's just a collab.
Yeah.
He did a collaboration with Dean as well, but he launched his company a few years back. We were early.
You got to see that pretty.
We saw it really close, and we were early adopters and lovers of his work and his building. He's a great person. He's a really nice dude. If you haven't met him, then you don't know, but he's really nice. He builds amazing guitars. He launched his company. I feel like it failed just for reasons besides the guitars. Was he brought in too many people.
Try to go too big too quick.
And I remember sitting there, we had a conversation about it. I was like, please, don't do that. I think cool, that's your plan, but I'm a little worried. Instead of trying to build 4 to 10 guitars a month, let's do 20 to 40.
Which is a lot of guitars.
And getting a giant production facility and trying to bring in a bunch of people in the middle of Tennessee. He
could have probably got there if he started small, smaller.
I know that was hard for me to watch too, because I love his work, I love his legacy, but I think it's just that's phase 1 of his launch out there.
Yeah.
Phase 2's around the corner. It's happening right now. We're excited to see what happens next. We still think there's going to be, and we still have one of his guitars. It's not for sale. It's in one of our storage rooms, and it's wonderful.
It's cool. It's awesome.
Cool guitar.
And maybe the collaboration thing is the way to go for him. You know what I mean? Maybe
I was hoping Gibson was going to snap him up.
That would be cool.
I want to see some John Cruz Les Pauls, something just nastied up. John and Tom Murphy have a robot death match.
That'd be kind of awesome.
You got old Ron Thorne, who was the principal master builder for the Fender Custom Shop for a few years, and then he is now back to building Thorne guitars again. So he seems to be successful in that still. And the difference there too is before he was a Fender Custom Shop master builder.
Is he the only guy who had his own guitars he was building not at Fender, became a master builder, and now is back to building those same guitars?
I think so. I think as far as because he was pretty successful before Fender too. They brought him in as an inlay sort of expert at first. That was sort of his go-to when you wanted to have fancy inlays done. Let's get Ron involved in this guitar, and so the Fender brought him in as not full time immediately, I think, and then Vince would go, oh, he's good and he's really good at this stuff, and let's make him the principal master builder. And he did that for a few years, and now he is off building Thorne guitars again. I think quite successful.
Yeah. One
more time. So there's out there. You have Gene Baker.
Gene Baker B3, I think, is what's on the headstock of those guitars. I've played a few of those. Pretty
I've only
neat
played
little takes.
1 or 2, I think, in my whole thing. They're cool.
They all got the sort of Firebird thing where the raised, the neck through, or at least that look. But yeah.
No, it's a cool guitar. It's tricky now. So now most of the people that leave end up leaving during retirement time. It's you finish a lot of time you finish your career there, and it was one of those because to get to the Fender Custom Shop is first off that's the highest division of Fender production to get there, and then to become a master builder, that's the highest level of builder.
Right.
And not only Fender but kind of in almost any other guitar company.
Right.
They don't make master builders at other companies in the same way.
Yeah.
If you look at, I asked that at Martin when I was walking through. I was like, why not? And then some guy started telling me a story. I don't know how true this was. One time back in I think it was the 70s or 80s, we had a guy that was just he'd put notes in the guitars, he'd repair to go out, and then come back and saying that he did them, and then he'd start getting more repair. And so we just didn't want to create these. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool having.
It's kind of neat having legends,
celebrity builders.
Stories. Do you think that in this new age of sort of social media and there's all these boutique brands that pop up, we're going to see more master builders who go out, leave to start their own brands, their own companies?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard. Like, I feel like if they do, they're going to have to leave. Let's say they're Fender Custom Shop master builders. They're going to have to leave Southern California, I think.
Yes.
Because I think it's so expensive there to start that unless you have been setting it up for years and you got your house under wraps, you got your production facility ready to go. You got a family that can support that too. I think it's changed a lot of the rules. I think it might be harder for them to do that now. There might be. I don't see their contracts.
Yeah, no.
But I know things locked down a little bit after some of these guys did leave.
Right.
And I'm sure Carlos's departure and his extreme success made Fender maybe rethink some of how, stuff with Instagram, stuff with the contracts, maybe like non-compete clauses.
Sure.
It's probably different if you're let go versus if you
just decide to
But God, this was all back during the 2020 time, 2021 is when this all happened for that. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I think a lot right now that the industry does this too. So we had this extreme rise, we had a little bit of dip, rise again. Now we're sort of like we're here. We're sort of like
maybe not as steady, not steady enough yet.
So maybe having that steady gig is the way to go. It's tricky. I mean, let's say you were a Fender Custom Shop master builder, which let's just what would you want to do? Would you want to stay there, finish your career as as what we thought John Cruz was going to do, as he was sort of the GOAT?
I could see both things. I could see wanting to be part of something that's a little bigger than myself, right? Like something that has a legacy. Oh, Fender, this vaulted company. But I can also see the appeal of having your own thing with your own name on it, and you being the guy making all the decisions.
Yeah.
You'd obviously have some more freedom to build the things you wanted to build if you were doing your own thing.
Well, and maybe you can have your cake and eat it too. Like if you have a great career as a Fender Custom Master Builder, you leave, your legacy is not over.
Right.
It's I think people still look at all these guys: John Suhr, Carlos, John Cruz, John Page, John English, Ron Thorne, Gene Baker, all the countless other ones. There's lots of Johns. It's funny when you do a family tree of the Johns, but they look at those as it doesn't matter when you left, why you left, where you left. You were the Fender master builder.
Right.
John pretty much made relics like the thing they are today. And so you can love them or hate them for that.
I think it'd be neat especially if you're retired as a master builder, to think about the people who have your guitars with your signature on the back of the headstock and your little COA. And they sort of know, they think about, I have a John Cruz, I have a Carlos Lopez or whatever. I think that's neat.
Or I have a Yuri Shishkov, he's still there, but that he builds these wonderful Fabergé eggs, and then I have a 1965 Telecaster he built, that's pretty cool, versus this $250,000 thing that's sitting in some place in the Middle East in a oil, mansion in Dubai probably. I mean, where else is that going to go?
That's exactly right. I mean, yeah.
I mean, those guitars don't go to. They don't go to you or me.
No, it's true.
Or anybody probably with the time to watch this.
No,
it's a fascinating journey. It's a fun journey. It's been fun to watch it. We've been. I feel like I've been so lucky to watch this, because I remember our first NAMM shows, going there and being nervous to talk to the master builders, and then you realize they're just dudes that are the best at what they do, and
they great guitars. Yeah,
they become friends, and now it's I've been very lucky to enjoy this ride for how it is, and we always wish them well when they leave and start their new things, or when they leave and they're ready to start that next phase of their life and relax.
Yes.
That's something that I think they've all earned too. Their hands have to be tired. I mean, it's a physical job.
It's a lot of fret polishing.
It ain't typing on the keyboard.
No.
Thanks for joining us for this little walk down memory lane and seeing what everybody's doing and the world after Fender Custom Shop. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Peace be with you.
See you later.
See you guys soon.